Hey, what up? We back at again with another video, right? So this is a Toyota Hilux with a 1KD engine in it, right? So customer complaint is that this vehicle four-wheel light keep flashing. Ask if you could check it out for him, right? This is 2015, 2017 model, right? Basically fairly new still. So let's check out the customer complaints and see what's good. Alright, so what we're going to do first here is intelligence scan, right? See if you pick up any codes. He said when he's driving, sometimes the four-wheel light is flash off and on, sometimes it stays on, right? And he's not feeling like he's engaging anymore. So he's referred to me and I'm going to just check it out and just confirm the issue, right? So let's see what's going on. So you're gonna put it on. My friend, let me just hop up in the truck. It's kind of high. Alright, so we're gonna. This is the four-wheel low, four-wheel high switch, right? So you see the light is flashing, right? So that green light that you see on top there, that's basically telling you that whatever gear you in, right? So let's see. This is 2000 MR. Hold it real quick. So we just do a quick scan real quick and see if anything pops up. While we waiting on the scan tool. Alright, so explain to me what happened. When you turn the switch, the light's supposed to come off or on, something like that? What it's supposed to do?
It's supposed to be a firm light when it engage. So when you go into the four-wheel drive, the light's supposed to remain.
Alright, so...
And instead if you go into the low, it's supposed to remain and it's supposed to stay the low light coming on.
Okay, so you see that it's not engaging and he's in the 4 low and the light is just keep flashing. Alright, so while we waiting for the scan tool, it's really moving slow. We're gonna just start the vehicle up. Alright, so this has a push start system on it. So still see the light blinking. Try to change it again on the 4 low. Alright. On the high, still doing the same thing. Again. Alright, so I'm not sure why is that, but we're gonna check it out. Go into transmission. I'm not sure if you have a module for the. It should actually have a module for the transfer case. Let's do a full scan. So I can. The green means good, red means bad, and well, gray means it's not equipped, right? So right now everything looks good, but yet the light is flashing and, as I said, it's not engaging. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to go into transmission. Let's read some data. See if he engaged, if I'm seeing it here on the unit. Hold on, let's go down to transfer case. See if we see anything with concerning the transfer case. It's not anything to do with the transmission. Alright, let's come on. Alright, let's try to turn it and let's see if it moves again. So we're not getting no command. Yeah, we're not seeing anything on the scan tool. Alright, so we're gonna switch off, roll under the truck. Alright, so we're under the truck right now. Alright, so this here is called the transfer case actuator. Right, you got the connection coming to it, right, and the vent hose. Right, so I suspect that this is the issue why the vehicle is not going into the gear. Right, so we're gonna do we'll check some quick checks on the harness side, make sure that everything is good. And once we confirm that we getting current voltage signals coming to it, I'm gonna go after the unit itself. Alright, so let me just get my multimeter. We did some tests on the module, right? Key on, engine off, unplug, right? We switched from high to 4 high to 4 low, and we saw the change in the voltage. So that also tells me that the transmission ECU is, you know, giving that command, right? And also that also let me know that the harness is good and the switch is good, right? So the next thing is the module, right? So we're gonna go back on the truck, right, and make sure that the vehicle is in 2-wheel right now, and we see if we can remove the module and see if we see anything that damage or need repairing, or just simply just need to be aligned. Right, so the vehicle in 2-wheel, right, I'm going to go on this vehicle here, set up my camera so y'all can see what I'm doing. Right, so we got 3 bolts and the rest is like some Phillips screws we gotta remove. And I'm gonna remove this harness right here. I want to make sure I get a rag because it has some, this is a transfer case here, right, and under here you have o-ring that will have a little like transmission fluid will come out, right? Sorry, not transmission fluid, transfer case fluid that will come out. So I'm gonna just get a rag to so it don't drop on my floor, right? So as I said, we're gonna remove this and open it up and inspect it and put it back together. Alright, cool. So I'm gonna first remove this harness here, right? Just unclip it, right? So you have a vent line here, but I see that it has a tie strap thing on it. Okay, no, it doesn't. So let's see if we could get this off. Yes, it does have a tie strap. So like probably put that to make sure no liquid goes in, right? As I said, this vehicle is built like, you know, like you want to go off-road, so probably you put that to make sure no water go in, right? So next thing what you're going to do is just, you know, loosen these fastens here. Just remove these, back them off. Right, I mean, if you have an impact drill, that'd be nice. I do have one, but I don't feel like sliding back out under this truck to go and get it. So we're just gonna have to do it the old school way. Right, so you just remove a few of all of them and just leave one. Right, the reason why you're gonna leave one because it has some gears and pins in here that you don't want to just, you know, to fall out and damage. So I'm just gonna remove these, set it to the side. Right, as I said, it also has 3 12 holes here. Just break them, take them off. You can tell this was never open before. Right, so you just take that off. Make sure I secure the bolts to make sure you don't lose them. Alright, and you have a rubber tab, a rubber piece right here that's gonna fall out. So you just put that back when you assemble. So what happens is this basically has an actuator in here that helps change the. They have an input shaft that goes into this box and like a motor right here that moves that shaft when the switch is turned. Alright, so this rubber tab here, you just secure it. It's right behind here. What I'm gonna do is just pull this off a little bit. Right, then you're gonna move the rest of the screws. Alright, so we got the last one here. Alright, so we can't just pull it straight out. You gotta remove this first. Alright, so I'm just leaving one so it don't fall, everything don't fall out while I make attempts to open this here. If you want, you can just give it a little tap, not to break it, but you know, just open it a little bit. Try not to pry it, and be careful because I said it has some pins that comes up here to send power. Let's see if I can take this out. Right, so this little rubber is just to make sure, you know, make sure contact behind here. Right, so I removed the screws from here. I left one, removed the vent line and the jack, and I removed the 3 bolts and the rubber that's behind here. So I'm just gonna use the tiny terminal screwdriver. I'm just gonna open it like that a little bit. So I'm gonna set this camera down. I'm gonna try to remove it. Just take your time and do it. You don't want the pins to bend, and you don't also want everything to fall out. So we're just gonna bring it down slowly. Finish opening this up. Alright, you have three gears behind here, 2 small ones and 1 big one. So you just want to keep everything together. I'll bring it down. If you want, you can just tilt the actuator forward a little bit just to get the bottom out without damaging the pins. Alright, so I'm gonna keep it like this. Alright, so with that out now, I'm able to take this off. Right, as I said, you're gonna get a little fluid coming out. Make sure you have a rag behind it. Right, it's out. Alright, so it has an O-ring behind here. So if you want, you can leave it, but I'm gonna just take it out because I want to put a little bit of grease on it when I'm going back up. Alright, with this shaft all the way out, right, you gotta make sure that you're in neutral, right, in 2-wheel, and with this shaft all the way out, that means you're in 4 low, right? So we gotta push it in to make sure it's go back in 2-wheel, right? So you're gonna go ask customer if you could put it in neutral, right? Make sure the handbrakes is up when you do that also. All right. Alright, so we're just gonna pry it here, make sure that it's in. Alright, so lessons learned, do not do it with the vehicle start, then you're gonna definitely throw a code. Alright, switch off. Switch off, right? Yeah. Alright, so right now it's switched off. So we definitely did throw a code, so we're gonna fix that, don't worry. Alright, so in here, as you can see, this is the motor, right? And you saw up in here is where the pins was going, the 4 pins that we checked to make sure that we're getting power and ground and signal and stuff, right? And right here is the switches, right? The contacts, right? Physically, it doesn't look like anything is damaged, right? So what we're going to do next, right, is we could put this back up, right, but we're gonna do some more work on the, we gotta make sure and align the others, right? So as I said, you will get a little fluid coming out here, don't panic, not much, right? And also don't start the vehicle with the unit on, right? And what you do now, you just put this back in like this, right? The O-ring is secured. Put a little oil on it. You put it in. You hear that snap? Alright, that's cool. Alright, and next thing, our next method, the next way you can know that that you're in 2-wheel is this shaft, right? You see this bolt hole, right? Is just past there, which is good. If it was all the way up, then it would be like in 4 low, right? So that's telling me that I am in 2-wheel right now. Alright, so the next check we're gonna do real quick is hooked up power probe to external battery source, and I'm gonna just This is basically a DC motor, so I'm just gonna make sure the motor is working. Right, as you can see, the motor is working. So what's left? The switch is good. I'm not sure if the variable one is not, but it's working. But the motor is working. I'm getting signal coming into the box. What else can I check? Yeah, I'm doing this on the ground, so it's kind of complicated somewhat. Right, so this is the 3 gears and the pins I was telling you about. Right, so when we was checking, we got power and ground signals go into this, right? So these are the signals here. This big gear, this comes straight off like this. We got this small gear, it stays here, and this small one, that's basically like time into it, right? So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these off, rest it to the side. Right, so this red one here, you gotta you see that line? You gotta make sure that line lines up with this little cutout here. This line in here has to be here, which it is. Cool. So hold on real quick, let me just do this. I'm trying to do it with one hand at the same time. Alright, so this line here goes into this little notch in this hole here. Alright, so remember the big gear go here. This small cog, small gear, it goes in this side, and then next gear goes here. Alright, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna put this big gear back up. Right, on this big gear, you see it has these 2 lines here, this one and this one. This one has to line up. This one has to line up with this line right here. You see a line here? Alright, I'll edit out. Alright, so that here, keep it here. On the next gear. Alright, so he's in here. Right, keep that there. Alright, so hold it up with your fingers. So as I said, you make sure that this red line is in that notch, in that hole, and these pin, you don't bend it when you're going in. So just take your time, find like a sweet spot where you can insert the pins. As I said, it's kind of hard to do this. Challenging to do this while I'm under the vehicle. Alright, but you just want to get it in the where we need to just angle, get the angle. Alright, so once it has an angle, keep your finger on it. And you don't want to force it because you can end up bending the pins. So you just take your time, line the pins up. Oh man, make sure that they don't drop. Make sure that it's still in time. Alright, make sure that gear is still in time. Alright, it's still in time. Make sure that pin is still in there. I don't know why they make this a little bit more easier to deal with, but what you gonna do? Alright, so you get that in there. Alright, and once you hear that snap, right, I'm not gonna just rush and put it back. You gotta make sure and pull back this rubber behind, because when you bolt it, you won't be able to get it in. Just to make sure that that it don't rub and make a lot of noise. So you just rest that right there. When you push it in, get some bolts to hold pull it in place, and then you can also put a screw up like this on both sides. It's kind of challenging to do this on the ground, seeing that everything is like suspended, but you'll figure it out. Alright, so once that is tightened, you can just let it go. Alright, I'm gonna put these bolts in. Matter of fact, before we put those bolts in, let me put these screws back in, because I won't be able to get access to this one here to tighten. Right, so what you can do also, like if you get in your vehicle and you notice that the light is still on, sometimes you could just change the gear, go forward and back, and see if it comes up. Like basically it's like a relearn, like you actually put it back in the position it's supposed to be in. Okay, so you just run this up like this, make sure everything is secured. So I should have used the impact instead, man. This manual work is annoying. Just line this back up good. Oh, man. Okay, line this up. Right, so we're supposed to be good there. Go back on the 3 bolts, tighten it off. You don't need to be torqued and all that. Clean up your transfer case fluid that dropped and plug it back in. You go in the vehicle and you scan for any kind of codes. Most likely check light might be on because we accidentally start the vehicle, so I'm not sure if it's going to be on, but if it does, well, you probably need to get a scan tool and clear the code, because they're going to be looking for the actuator, since it's being unplugged. Just give it a nice little turn. You don't need to do it to crack the housing. You just, if you want, you can be on the safe side. You can probably mark the bolt, or so, I guess. You just gotta make sure it's tightened properly. Alright, so we're gonna just put in the last one, tighten off all, and we do our checks before we go in the vehicle. Alright, that's tighten. The other one is also the one that, yeah, make sure it tighten real good, because remember it's under the vehicle, and if you like pass through water, it can get into the actuator, the module itself, and mess it up. And we don't forget to put the vent hose back on. If you want, you could put some grease on it just so wiggly now. Right, don't forget I'm gonna run the harness behind here, so to kind of keep this away from the drive shaft. You put it in, and yeah, and that should be it. You'll clean up after yourself, and I'm gonna go on top, scan for codes, and then we're gonna clear whatever code that came up, and we're gonna redo our test. Right, so let's go on top. Alright, so we're gonna check for codes real quick. Right now, we're not seeing any light is on. Remember, the light was flashing before. Right, in fact, before we do anything, let's definitely make sure we have no codes before we start the vehicle up and change our gears or something like that. Right, so I believe what happened to this vehicle, it's possible that it was out of range, right, and what caused it to start glitching. From what I researched, it don't look like that module give that much trouble, but sometimes it do get out of range, probably if by driving the person probably hit the switch by mistake or something like that, or or pick up a skid. I'm not sure. As I said, we definitely getting codes because, as I said, we trying to put ignition on and the vehicle start by accidentally. So we're gonna clear that. In fact, let's read it first, so at least we know if it do pop up in the near future, we know what it what it looks like. So as you can see, before we didn't have no codes, but now we have the traction control, which are on the ABS module. Right, so it's definitely looking for the transfer L4 position switch circuit. It's an open circuit because the plug was off, the jack was off, and it was looking for the transfer shift motor. Right, and as I said, we had the jack off, so that is why it that's why it came up. Right, so we're gonna clear it now, and you see it's coming off. Right, let's go into our matter of fact, let's go into 4-wheel. If we go into 4-wheel, might be able to see some info while we see no codes. Right, let's see if we see in the L4 and stuff like the switch. What else am I looking for here? L4 indicator. So also on this kind of tool, I just learned this. You can see things. The transfer case has its own module basically, so you can see if it energized or not. I didn't need to go to the transmission side. So that's just the perks of having these type of scan tool that give you all this data. Right, let's press OK. Right, let's switch. Move the switch. Right, so we move the switch and we see that it's flashing and it stayed solid. Right, I don't know if you can see that, you're on H4. Right, but I want to check here. I want to see if I'm getting any changes on my side. It's saying that transfer limit switch is on. Oh, sorry, didn't know I was zoomed in. Right, so it's saying that my transfer limit switch is on. Right, TL2 and TL1 is off. Right, let's go to the next one. Alright, so when we go to the next one, you see in 4 low. I'm just gonna zoom in. Right, so before we wasn't getting no 4 low at all, and the light was kept flashing. Right, so I'm gonna go back to the scan tool and see what I'm getting. Right, so it's saying that it's blinking. Right, that's real cool. It tells me that the 4 low is blinking, which it is. Right, it's also telling me that the TL1 and TL2 is still off, probably when you're driving. I'm not sure. Right, but it wasn't doing that before, so we look like we got through. Right, but what we're gonna do though, we're gonna start the vehicle and we're gonna roll forward and back and make sure all is well. Put the car back in 2-wheel. Alright, you see that it's come off. You actually hear the switch. Right, the light is still blinking. Right, and right now my indicator request L4 is off, so that's showing that the switch is good. Harness is good also. Right, we wasn't getting that before, so we're gonna start the vehicle up. Right, so right now it's still flashing. Right, I want to switch to H4. Alright, so it's switched to H4. I want you to switch to L4. But like it went right back, it slipped out. Alright, so look like we're gonna have to go back on the vehicle and check it over again. Right, so now it's not like it went into 2-wheel. Alright, so let's do it over again. Gear attached to it. So when power is sent to this motor, it will turn this gear and also turn the other gears, right? And this is the switch here, right? Probably high and low, right? And there's nothing really much to this other than, you know, a command comes in, does probably shift this and that, move this plunger in and out, right? So what I'm gonna do with a pry bar, I'm gonna just make sure, right now I'm in 2-wheel, I'm in neutral. I'm gonna make sure that the shaft is all the way in, which it is. Right, I'm gonna put this housing back on, make sure that the O-ring is secured. Right, as I said, when you know that you're good is when the rod is when you're in 2-wheels, when the rod is a little past this bolt, where the pin goes. So I'm just gonna leave that right there. Right, so let's see if we can hook this back. Right, so this one here, as I said, the timing is this here. I'm making sure make sure none of the gears is damaged. Put this back up. Right, make sure it's in good. I probably gotta angle the module, the outside housing a little bit so you can go into the gear. Get this off. Is off a little bit. Alright, so it's off by about like 1, 2, but as I said, I'm just making based on the angle of the housing. Alright, so this hooked up there. Just next, what I'm gonna do is put this one up. Right, just make sure that it's secured. And as I said, you gotta make sure that this tab is lined up properly. Alright, so you gotta make sure that red tab, that line is lined up with that notch in the gray piece. Alright, as I said, I'm gonna do a little inspection also, make sure all the contacts have no burn marks or anything like that. Right, it actually lines up dead in that notch in that hole. You can see it. Right, so I'm holding it like this. I'm gonna just use my screwdriver to hold it up while I put the gear in. Just make sure that you don't bend the pins. Just how to bring it out a little bit. It's like it's nothing to clean or anything like that. You just gotta make sure, you know, you have grease and like nothing is burnt. Just gotta take your time. Put that up. Once that's secure, that's I'm gonna just put a screw, like 2 screws, just to hold this up. don't think it's anything like crazy you gotta do to make sure this online is either it's working or it's not working. There's nothing that you can really say you're gonna replace or fix or anything like that. If the module is glitching, it's glitching. I mean, it's definitely getting power and ground and signal, right? It works sometimes, and sometimes it decides to play the fool. So is that the unit has to be replaced? I'm not sure. As I said, we're just trying to see if we can understand how it works, and with that now we'll be able to, you know, let the customer know, you know, if he needs to get it replaced or what we did works. There's nothing physically we can do, just to make sure the timing is good and the gears is not wear worn or anything like that, wear out. Alright. Because when we first did it, it worked. And then when we start the vehicle and we tried to switch the gear, actually we didn't even get to switch the gear. We start the vehicle and you actually heard it like engage, I guess, but then the lights start back to flash and blink, and it wasn't getting no command. So I'm not sure. This is new to me, but you know what we do, we like to figure out things. And actually, you know, appreciate that the customer is here and seeing you trying too. You know, that goes a long way. So, because I'm not sure where we're gonna get this box from. What's the price? So see that, you know, doing what I can to at least get it working or hold out, I guess. I don't know. That's the bad side of having all these electronics, you know, actuators and stuff like that. When they fail, you can't do nothing about it. I mean, all you can do is get it replaced. And the manufacturers are making modules for everything on vehicles now. They're using like electrical stuff to move power up mechanical stuff, and most of the time it's not the mechanical, it's the electrical, or vice versa. And you as a technician, you know, you not sure how things work, and you know, get the big bad calls. That's why I do my checks first. Make sure, you know, you do some research before I put a stamp on it and say, you know, we gotta replace it. You gotta do your homework. These things are costly, and then the availability is the next issue, and well, the installation is not a problem. It's just, and then you know, you might go to a junkyard and get one. Don't know the condition you're gonna be in. So, or if the dude know how to remove it, then he might take it out and mess it up. So, as I said, we're gonna try something. Alright, so let's roll back into the truck and do our test again. So we're gonna try it again. Yeah. Try to start the vehicle. Alright, so it's flashing. Start the vehicle up. Alright, so the light is flashing. Let's try this time to reverse. Hold on, close the door. See if it works itself out. Reverse. Alright, I want you now to put the switch on. Alright, still flashing. Put the glow on. Nothing. So he's definitely playing up. This time he's not even reacting. Alright, so nothing. Alright, so what's the next move with this one? Is it a relearn? I don't think it's a relearn. It's nothing to relearn. I timed everything properly. You saw it work the first time. And the second time I decided to back up with no codes. There's nothing, no relearn to this. Right, let's reverse. Matter of fact, if we could go for a drive, I guess. I don't know if it'll move. So we're gonna take this vehicle for a test run real quick and see if we can get it to act up or go back in. But when we did the first time, it did set it. The 4 came on, and it did. The symbol did remain solid. Alright, so we're gonna try what you gotta try here now. Right, and go reverse. Do you have to switch the gear or something? Put in the 4 or something like that? I'm not sure. You just wanna see if we can activate it. Oh, like he's really glitching now. Alright, go 4 low. Yeah, reverse. Try it. Go back. Alright, go forward. Alright, so nothing still. Alright, he's just blinking. Alright, so let's see if we can remove the box again and I don't know, probably pull the shaft out. But that's not how you set it. But let's see what we can do.